I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. We are joined by Digital-Bluez. Hi.
Hello there. Nice to meet you.
Hey, thanks for coming on. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Certainly. Hi, everybody. My name's Digital-Bluez. I'm the digital human VTuber who takes the intelligence out of artificial intelligence in hopes that my stupidity will either make people laugh or cry. I sincerely hope it's the former, though, because I would honestly really hate to make people cry. I'm a variety streamer who streams a variety of games, composes a variety of music, as well as draws a variety of things. It's nice to meet every single one of you, and Eric, thank you so much for allowing me to be here today.
Well, thank you for coming on, and I do appreciate it, especially as someone who actually has talent. Somebody on this show has to have talent, and I'm glad that you're here to take care of that for me. I mean,
oh, come on. I'm pretty sure everybody is talented in one way, shape, or form.
yeah, I'm talented in pointing out the people who have talent. There we go. I'll go for that. So you not only are you
that's a very underrated skill.
Yes, knowing when to fold them. That's my skill. And some people know when to hold them. I know when to fold them. That's my skill. So you are a musician, music. What do you do with music?
I guess the correct term in this case would be producer. I did study music in high school about in 2011, but because lessons were getting so expensive, I kind of had to just stop at that point.
Right.
What I had learned from there, I had taken all the way into college with me and kind of just worked around with music for a good 14 years now, since 2014.
So you basically
or 12 years, excuse me.
You took that basic knowledge you got from that and then self-taught yourself from there?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to go back and study music again, but that doesn't seem to be happening anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't know though. I mean, and you not only with art as well, but I see people who get their own style and learn how they learn things, and they tend to go back to the basics, and they don't have a particularly good time learning them because the instructors want to hammer them into into their word version of doing it, and they want them to lose what made them special in the first place. Do you think by learning it yourself, you've got your own different spin on things?
You know, the funny thing is, even though I've been like producing music for 12 years, I still to this day don't think I have my own like recognizable style of music per se.
Really? Well, what type of
music? Yeah, I like to...
Like to?
I'm sorry, what was that?
You like to what?
Oh, I like to basically experiment with multiple different genres of music. At least for what is available to me from like at least what is available to me in FL Studio, which is like the audio workstation that I work with a lot. If it's possible, then there is always a way that I'll try to at least attempt a certain genre of music. Other than that, sometimes I feel pretty limited, at least with the equipment that I have now.
Well, yeah. I mean, if we could only just attach the wire to our head and whatever we thought of went straight to the music, it would make it so much easier than actually trying to remember that little. I know everybody, I'm sure, has done this where they've had a dream where they've got this absolutely perfect little riff and they wake up and forget it completely.
that has been me every single day half the time. I'll have a perfectly good tune in the back of my head, and then when I wake up or I get home from like taking care of a lot of things, and then suddenly I'm like, oh geez, where was I going with this?
It's like D D D. Just go up the scale until I find the right note. So, when the program you're working with, is it a keyboard, or is it? Is it like a piano type keyboard, or is it just a regular computer keyboard?
Believe it or not, I actually don't work with a keyboard when I make the music that I produce.
Really?
I would like to. I just don't really have the time to afford it.
Oh, so tell me, how are you doing this?
how do I produce my music?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see. If only I could visually show you, your audience.
Nope, that's what the magic of radio is all about. I was in radio for 35 years. Damn it, I'm not leaving it now. Video tried to kill me,
um,
back in the day, and I managed to survive. Um, so you does the program work? Do you but break down how you would put a composition together, if you could, please.
FL Studio, which is the software that I typically use, does have like a virtual piano roll, with which you can use to input notes and like arrange them in specific, chord stabs, uh, like melodies, even arpeggios half the time, which is
Oh,
what I use to like make the noises that I typically make in a lot of my music.
mm, yeah, that's something that actually is probably easier on the computer than it is in an instrument. Do that sort of thing. Um, with this program, do you have
Sorta.
I, with this program? Do you have samples that you're working with, or is it all digitally created music?
You can import samples into FL Studio. Last I checked, it does come with its own. Um, it does come with its own little synthesizer with which you can use to upload different types of samples. I
Yeah,
haven't experimented with that yet, but I'm willing to try in the future.
yeah. I mean, once you kind of get hooked, I would love to be able to do something like that. I just have so little ability to concentrate on something like that. And I would lose it so quickly, and end up being like Moon June type stuff by the time I was done putting anything like that together. Like, oh yes, I've heard that song a million times. Thank you for doing it again. that sort of that sort of thing. Have you always been creative music wise, or was that something that came a little later for you?
I'd like to say that the music part of myself probably sprung and came about, I want to say halfway through my second year of college,
Mm.
because at the time I had an idea back when I had like back when I was a part of a band. Um, I had an idea of like creating like a gorillas type style virtual band because at the time I was studying animation,
Ah,
and so I kind of created like a lot of character concepts for like one member for each of the band, but
right.
over time it was clear to me that we all wanted to do like our own things in life, so I never bothered to propose this idea
Mm,
even after graduation.
mm. Well, I mean that the gorillas are pretty amazing. I mean, it's just how they've been able to, the folks behind the gorillas, of course, have been able to uh, be as seamless as they can with what they've been able to do. There are still people to this day who think that they're just that they're four people who run around in are the band, and don't know that it's almost entirely a studio type of thing. Um, so I mean, given that and given their success is pretty amazing. Uh, would you want to do something along those types of lines? Be able to even animate your own videos to do something like that?
Funny enough, I actually did think about doing that once. I never really went through with it because since 2014, I've kind of been used to being a solo act for like 12 years now.
Mm,
As in, I've produced everything, I've drawn everything, I've animated everything, I've video edited everything, and the problem with me bringing this into a group function is a little difficult for me because I can't really explain my own like work process to other people,
right.
and particularly because I don't even have a work process to begin with. I just sort of load up FL Studio and just kind of work with some sounds here and there and hope for the best, which doesn't sound very professional to a lot of music producers out there. I'm very sorry, but this is what happens when I am self-taught half the time.
Well, that's true, but then the things that you come across that you create are yours and not derivative of somebody else's when you do that sort of thing. It makes a big difference as far as that goes, and um, you kind of bringing it up out of whole cloth. Settling around and noodling around with the equipment, it's probably made better songs than not doing that sort of thing. Uh, you'll get a riff by accident, or a particular repeating uh, bass line in your head. Like, oh, okay, that works, and that's how sometimes the creative process is. You more discover it than create it, in that sort of way. So would you say that mostly what you're doing is discovering rather than creating your songs?
That sounds about right. Yeah. I just wish I also could find a way to pass down to others like how I did that.
Huh?
I just never could. I I got asked that one time, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I wish I could explain my thought process to you. I just can't physically write it down, or at least find a way to record it and pass it on to like whoever comes to me for music advice.
Your mind is a terrible thing that cannot be read at any time. Just avoid going into that
I'm so
mind.
mysterious, even I can't keep up with myself.
That's right. I had to pat myself on the back because nobody else will. they,
Yeah.
it's great to hear somebody that has the confidence to do this and show other people. I wouldn't have the confidence, even if I thought it was really good, which from me it wouldn't necessarily be good. How did you get that confidence to show other people what you were doing?
There is a short term answer and a long term answer to that, but
Okay.
I think for sort of middle ground to that, it is mostly out of spite. To put it bluntly, I guess.
I love
Um,
that.
yeah, because well, years and years ago, there was and this might be a tad personal, I guess, for some people out there, but there was one, and I'll never forget this. There was one gentleman who I used to work with way before I was even like getting knee deep into content creation.
Hmm.
Uh, I was just basically trying to get like, I was basically trying to get to know like my fellow coworkers as best as I possibly could.
Hmm.
At some point, the the topic of like what was my degree in specifically was brought up. I told this gentleman specifically it's animation, right?
Right.
New media production animation, and this gentleman basically gave me like this really like I guess dejected face, and what came out of his mouth kind of haunted me for like several years, I guess. Mostly because it was very, how do I put this, discriminative. Is
Ah,
that I don't even know if I said the word right.
well, I know what you're trying to say, and it makes sense. Yeah. So, it,
Yeah. What came out of his mouth was basically, okay, but listen, buddy, Asian people are usually the smartest kind of people around. Why in the world are you here instead of and going into like, the creative fields, whereas you should be like a doctor or a lawyer or something.
oh my
And
gosh. Ugh,
I wish I was making that up, but
uh,
that was something that haunted me since 2016,
ah,
and I took that out of spite ever since.
that's a terrible thing. I mean, I'm so old now. I mean, I'm in year 60 now, and I just keep hoping that people get beyond that sort of thing. And then I hear, just 10 years ago, you go through something like that. But again, I've always thought about people being the triumph that emerges from those situations, and you've done that by proving them that you can do this and you're good at it.
It certainly has had its challenges here and there, especially from like it hurts more when like the people that are you grew up with are also of a similar opinion. But here I am years later, somehow still hanging in there, and I'm surprised of my own determination even to this day.
Yeah, you should be proud of it. I mean, I would I would say that you you stuck to your guns and didn't succumb to other people's pressure to to their idea of what you should be is not what you should be, because you're the only one that gets to decide that, and you basically, you know, put it in their face, here, look what I've done, and you continue to do it. That's something to be really proud of.
That really does mean a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
because because had I actually gone through with taking some of that advice, I would probably not have felt the similar sense of personal satisfaction that I would have gotten just by following the easy path, as opposed to like the path that I feel like I'm carving out on my own.
absolutely. And you'd have been miserable. I mean, I haven't known you longer than 15 minutes in this interview, but if you'd have given into that and done something else, you'd be at the age you are now and still haven't done what you really wanted to do. And where would you have been? You'd be out on the outside looking in. Why didn't I do this when I had the chance? Um, that's something that you can be very proud of.
That is a very sweet thing to say. Thank you.
Really, I mean, it's first of all, to have that type of people who don't recognize that genius doesn't necessarily mean adding two numbers together to come up with something different than everybody else did, and having it be correct. Genius, you can be a genius artist, you can be a genius musician, you can be a genius basketball player, you could be a genius lawn care worker. Um, Genius doesn't necessarily mean what your IQ says. There's a lot of different ways to describe it, and your your take is being in the artistry field, whether it's and the regular old artistry, or whether it's music. It's so easy to see in retrospect that you have to really wonder what anybody is thinking otherwise. It just to me, I'm glad you took that. I'm glad you made that and took that spite and used it. Hold on to that spite and hatred for the rest of your life.
I
Strangle
don't know.
everything
I
together.
guess, yeah. I guess I just sort of really didn't want that to break me.
Yeah.
Overall, because it is kind of hard to overcome that, and
Mm.
I completely understand that. Like I've seen like maybe other similar smaller VTubers who feel the exact same way. Like, are they going to be good enough for themselves? Are they going to make it whatever their goals may be?
Yeah.
And that's something I kind of relate to like a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not everybody is going to be the best at something. You can't do that. Otherwise, no one would be the best. You'd have a lot of people that were the same. There are wonderful sports players that never play major league sports. The person sitting in Double A in minor league baseball is still one of the top 1% in the world at what they do. You're still really good at it. And they're enjoying themselves, and they're doing what they love to do. There's nothing wrong with that. And people shouldn't have to define themselves by what other people think they should be. And the fact that you at such a younger age caught on to that and just gave them the thumb and said I'm going to do what I want, says a lot about you and your determination as a person.
That is a very nice thing to say, actually. I'm, I'm not tearing up. I promise.
No, I'm absolutely serious. It just too often you see where people get beat down and beat down and beat down and taken away from their dreams and what they want to do. There's maybe let's take it the farthest way possible. Maybe you would have been a tremendous mathematician, one of the top ones in the world, but you'd also would be absolutely miserable that you didn't get to do what you wanted to do. What good is that in the long run? Here you get a chance to show that, yeah, you are good at what you want to do.
Honestly, that is actually the basis of like my whole VTuber shtick, believe it or not.
See, I know what I'm talking about.
Because yeah, because like with artificial intelligence, there's always that like stipulation that they're cold, calculated, and super intelligent, and being able to like come up with like a complex solution to a complex problem.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to put a spin on that in a sense that what if I don't want to be uh, uh like really like what's the word, right brained,
Yes.
I guess.
Yes.
What if I just don't want to be that? I feel like if you took that stereotype and just kind of flipped it on its head, it would kind of just break the mold of like breaking expectations of what other people expect from you in society. And I
Absolutely.
think that's what shaped the intelligence out of artificial intelligence spiel.
Absolutely. And it's I think especially now, it's a pretty brilliant take to have, given the effects that AI is having on everybody, including announcers, jerkwad AI things, messing up everybody's careers. And yes, that's
I actually almost wanted to rebrand because of that, actually.
oh no,
Because I understood like the negative stipulation behind the use of AI, and I was
yeah,
like, I wonder if this is going to actually affect like my growth as a VTuber. And I thought
no,
I actually penned up different other ideas to
yeah.
like go with as a VTuber. Although it wasn't until a personal friend reached out to me, whom I'm pretty sure uh will probably come across this interview one way or another. Shout out and thank you to you, by the way.
Hello.
They told me don't rebrand, stick to it, because not only is it a unique concept, but like in a sense you can take back the negative connotation that comes with like artificial intelligence.
Yeah, yeah.
And that kind of stuck with me ever since.
Well, I mean, you're kind of skewering it, aren't you? You're taking it in another direction and kind of poking at the um, monolithic big blue type thing that people are worried about, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I still think, and this will probably make a lot of people angry, but I'm old. Do with it what you will. That if people had started in with artificial intelligence and marketed it as a tool and not the be all end all, the thought about it would be a lot different than it is now. Um, I think it would have made a bigger difference if if you see a human is using AI to do this rather than AI is doing this, and maybe it's just a marketing solution when it comes down to it. But I think that's when you get to that thought of a replacing a human. That's where I think you get a lot of the problem. Um, and and have you heard those ads on YouTube with the fake announcers?
All the time, unfortunately, especially on like YouTube Shorts.
Oh,
And every time I hear them, it just kind of infuriates me.
especially when us announcers are so cheap. We'll we'll do it for nothing. You got a quarter, we'll do it for half a quarter. It'll save you. It does. We don't cost that much. And if your product is so bad that you have to use something that mispronounces every other word, maybe your product sucks, and you have to deal with it that way. But I'm going to get back to what you're able to do here with this, with the music that you put together. Did you, when you were growing up, and you said music kind of came to you a little bit later in life, but you said you were in a band before. I don't want you to dox yourself out and tell, everything too much about you, but what type of music did you play?
We were mostly, I want to say we were mostly a cover band, I
Yeah.
guess. We were covering a lot of like the like early 2000s. I want to say I want to say emo type music, so things like Linkin Park.
Mm.
I think we also covered Mayday Parade at some point. My memory's a little rusty on that, but I know that I know that we were basically a Linkin Park encyclopedia at some point.
Is your memory rusty, or are you trying to forget it? There is.
I wish I could answer that. It's like if I if it wasn't so heavily into alcohol during my college years, I probably would have had a better answer for that.
Yeah,
I had
I tell you, I went through. I never was part of a band because I couldn't play any instruments, and I certainly can't sing. So, but some friends of mine were, and in the '80s, in the uh, mid '80s, in Champaign, Illinois, there was quite a band scene, and there were. I mean, that's Champaign, Illinois was where the Farm Aid concert was, or original Farm Aid concert, and there were so many people that were coming through, and you could see all sorts of bands from all over the country. Being a college town helped, obviously, and but people, if you could play bass, you were in six different bands because nobody else wanted to play
I
bass.
feel that.
Yeah, I mean that's or if you could drum, you could probably they would try to book your two bands on the same night so you could just stay behind the drum set, that sort of thing. But it was a lot of fun, and I'm sure I poke fun at it a little bit, but that's got to be something that the memories that you still have are still got to be pretty fun. What you do remember is probably
I
pretty
tell
fun.
you, I tell you, I, I've the amount of songs we actually used to play back then was actually, I think it was mostly we mostly did like smaller like shows here and there. We didn't really take it anywhere else aside from that, which was just a shame because I had gotten so used to like just getting lost in the riffs of whatever we were like playing that
Yeah.
it almost didn't feel like a performance after a while. Like I had completely forgotten what stage fright was like
Ah,
as soon as the lights came on and
ah,
my guitar was hanging around my neck. I was like, oh, I
that's
guess we're playing.
that's actually really cool. It really is. And did that experience help you with content creation later on? I mean, turning on and having a live audience in front of you.
I would certainly say it has improved my confidence in the long run for sure.
Yeah.
I was actually very nervous to have debuted as a VTuber because originally people had already seen my face even before I was a VTuber online, and I was like, I don't know if I can play into a character because that is technically what VTubing is for like a lot of people,
Right. Right.
and I just ever since then it just kind of came naturally after the nervousness just kind of washed over me.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, that's you basically described the same thing as you did when you were in the band, where then once the microphone turned on and you were in the scene of it, all that nervousness was gone.
Yep. Suddenly messing up didn't matter.
Yeah.
Everything could just be turned around in a more comedic or entertaining way. And the more I started to do it, the less nervous I eventually got, I suppose.
Wow, that's brilliant. That's something that I wish that I could do. Get less nervous, but um, it's a special gift to be able to adapt that quickly to that sort of thing and make yourself comfortable, um, whether you're wanting to or not, whether you're intending to or not, I should say. And that alone makes the experience better, I imagine, all the way around for you. Um, a little bit less stressful and a lot more concentrating on having fun doing it.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Because the more I kept on doing it, my mindset immediately became, um, "Oh man, I might screw this up. Oh well, at least someone can laugh about it later. And if it puts a smile on their face, then I can say that's a job well done."
Excellent, excellent. That's a great attitude to take, and I hope that some folks listen to that and take it to heart. Now, on a completely different level, artwork. Um, what type of an artist are you?
At the moment, I would say, I guess an illustrator.
Hmm?
I've seen, I've seen, I've done a lot of illustration. At least one stream per week. I just sort of dedicate it to just drawing. I would say fan art of like a lot of other creatives that I come across, other
Yeah,
VTubers, other YouTubers, etc.
yeah, yeah. Is it?
It's mostly
Go ahead.
it's mostly done so that I could I want to say it's mostly done just so that I can like spread some semblance of positivity with everyone within the VTuber community,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Oh well, that's a good thing. I mean, doing that. But was it art something that you were interested in as a young person?
Absolutely. Like even during my childhood as a wee baby blues, I was always like hooked onto like watching cartoons and anime and all that good stuff.
Hmm.
Especially during the fourth grade, I had a lot of corny ideas for animations back then, of which I can't recall because I'm pretty sure all the art, all the drawings that I ever made for them, kind of probably dust in the wind somewhere. Unfortunately.
You had some great ideas back then. Wish I could remember them.
Yep. I wish alcohol did not ruin my memory that day.
It's I, I I envy people who are able to do that sort of thing. I don't seem to be able to come up with. I never says, "Oh, everybody can be an artist." Yeah, well, you haven't met me. I can prove you wrong. I'm the exception that proves the rule. Um, but doing that and again showing it to somebody else is a different story. Writing it in a notebook, doing it in your own sketch pad, doing it on your own sketchbook without showing it to somebody. Was it easy for you to go and translate that into being able to show off your work to other people?
I would definitely say it does. It's gotten a lot easier. I still feel like it half the time whenever and a lot of my viewers have probably caught me saying this before. Whenever I finish like drawing something, I'll still have that a little bit of self doubt where I say, I just hope that the person that I'm drawing this for is gonna like it in the end. It's not. I wouldn't say it's a lack of I don't think it would say it's a lack of confidence in myself. It's more along the lines of like I'm just worried if whether or not they will actually like the final product in the end.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Again, it seems like you've taken that and adapted very quickly to making it, whether you intend to or not, it's become you've made it comfortable for yourself to continue to be an artist. Um, I'm sensing a pattern. It's a good pattern, and not a lot of people are able to do that sort of thing. Um, so right now, I mean, you've got all these things that you're good at, these abilities. You're not only are you an entertaining VTuber, but you're doing the music and you're doing the artwork. And are you comfortable doing all three?
Not only comfortable, I would say that I'm proud of it too.
Good.
Because these were skills that, in a traditional sense, well, not traditional sense, but these are skills that are typically looked down upon in most social circles of society. Like, they say some artists won't really make it because it's not really valuable to them.
Mm-hmm.
So their ergo, it's not going to like get me anywhere in life specifically. But being surrounded by people who are like enamored by such skills,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of did make me feel a little bit proud that I chose to do this instead of doing something else entirely with my life.
Yeah, yeah, and doing and doing more than one skill to do this sort of thing. No one's pigeonholing you. at this point. And you've got too many blades in your Swiss knife, army knife. There, too many things you could do with it. That sets you up uniquely for the VTuber field because not only can you show off, what you've done musically, what you've done, but also, as you said, you do some of the illustration work while online. Um, how has that response been when you've shown your musical capability or your art capability? What type of response have you gotten from your community?
Um, I guess one of my more prominent mods, I would say, whenever he does tune in, and I always appreciate him. I always appreciate him stopping by. Um, he's actually he's actually very surprised half the time that I possess like multiple talents, I guess, and that always and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I just think that it's actually refreshing for like the first time since I want to say 2018. For the first time since 2018, someone actually sees value in the things that I can do, as opposed to the things that I should be doing,
Mm,
which is something that I'm not really even used to, even to this day. I'm not used to people saying, my work is amazing, my work is like really good.
yeah.
Um, unless because I usually grew up with like around a lot of people who are like, unless there's some monetary value attached to the things that I do, it's not usually worth like looking at or celebrating, which kind of really did put a damper on me ever since I've decided to be an independent creator
Right. Right.
back in 2014.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You've said this a few times now, where you kind of put yourself in as saying, "I'm doing what I want to be doing rather than what I should be doing." Um, and playing amateur psychologist. Um, I'm certainly not even one on television, but that kind of indicates to me that it still bothers you. I mean, it's not going away. Are you using that more as you say you do some things out of spite? Are you using it more as a motivation or a spur to keep you going in the saddle? How are you using that?
How do I explain this? I would say that I would say that uh, mostly as a means of like proving to others who have actually doubted in me in the past that I can do this. I can. I don't want to say make a living because that sounds a bit uh, pretentious of me to say that, but I can do something with a lot of the skills that some people do not perceive as valuable in today's society, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. It does. And I will say this: there's a lot of people who are dumb and they don't realize. I mean, there are people who look at a brain surgeon and say, "Well, yeah, well, what does he do? He just works on brains. He can't cure the cold." There's always going to be somebody who's willing and wanting to take whatever you can do skill wise, or what you want to do, what you're able to do, and minimize it as much as possible. Um, Usually, those people aren't able to do a lot of things themselves, other than that. That's that's their main skill, um, and uh, you seem to have overcome that in a big way, and continue to use that to flourish as much as possible. Um, you you're going to end up being a role model by the time it's done.
Oh, that would make me really nervous, actually. I don't, I don't know if I'm ready to. I don't know if I'm ready for that particular set of eyes on me.
And there you go, folks. Now you've got the end. Go to their streams and tell them they're role models. There you go.
Oh, please don't. That just puts a lot more pressure on me to like not mess up somewhere down the road.
Oh,
Not that I'm saying that I would like easily.
yeah.
Um,
No,
it's just
it's just bleeding. It's more of a leading by example sort of thing. And again, this is something that you probably didn't even think of. Um, but the best examples are the people who aren't promoting themselves as the best examples, because they're the folks that are concentrating on working on what they're doing. They're doing it naturally. They're not doing it for anything other than the want to do it. It's not because somebody else told them to. It's not because they uh, somebody said that they should be doing something else. It's because they want to do it, and when they want to do it right, and they're not going out and putting a T-shirt. Hey, look right. Those are the examples that people should look at. So if no one else uses you as a role model, I'm going to. Um, I think that what you're doing here is absolutely great, and being able to entertain people on several different levels is is rare. And if you add that to everything that you've overcome to do it, that makes you pretty amazing.
I uh I may have recoiled out of shyness after hearing that.
But I mean that's the way I see it, and your mileage may vary with all things, but and with the VTubing field and the media that we're able to announce, we get to hear your music, we get to see your art, we get to know you as a person a little bit, and get to know you as Digital-Bluez, and the wonderful abilities that you have that you're willing to share with us. This is the stuff. This is the good stuff here, folks. And I hope that more people are able to come out and show that sort of thing, um, and show exactly what they do. Because I'm greedy and I want to hear what everybody else wants to do. Listen,
It's totally understandable.
I'm living vampirically off of other people's talent. After this interview, you'll find you're not able to draw ever again, but that's fine because I'm certainly perfectly perfect in good shape.
I'm gonna forget what a pencil is like next thing, first thing in the morning.
Start sharpening the wrong end. It doesn't work. Um, so with all this stuff going on, and folks, we're going to have the links in the description, and you can check out what the Digital-Bluez has going on, and you should. All this stuff going on. Do you have any goals set for yourself in any of these fields coming up this year?
Definitely would like to do a lot more music based stuff.
Mm.
I know I know that I've also talked with other friends about like we're working on some different music projects with them in the future. So hopefully that becomes a thing in 2026. I did say like about at least maybe 6 months ago.
Mm.
I did have an honest like conversation with my chat, and I told them recently, while I've been streaming a lot as of late, I feel like I have been more gamer as opposed to have been like a music producer or like any other like type of content creator. So I want to say that this year that is totally going to change in its entirety.
Mm-hmm.
I want to put more effort towards like doing some covers that I want to do.
Yeah.
There's some original tracks that I want to do. I'm already like putting together, or at least trying to come up with inspiration for an original song of my own.
Oh.
Whether or not that gets finished today, this year,
today,
is up in the air. But
no, finish it today. Do it now.
Whether or not, yeah. whether or not that I can finish it this year is up in the air, but I at least want to make more effort towards that specific skill.
Yeah. Well, I'm not putting anything past you. It's pretty obvious that when you set yourself to it, you're going to do it, or you're going to put the effort out to it because it's what you want to do and not necessarily what somebody else wants you to do. And again, that says a lot about the backbone you have in doing this and making your life yours.
If only my backbone wasn't so sore right now.
oh, you young people and your aches and pains. I wake up every morning just to see if I've actually woken up every morning. It's, depending on which joint hurts in the morning, I can tell you what day of the week it is. Oh, elbow! It's Wednesday. Thank you. Um, it's just really it's great to hear that you've got this opportunity, and the technology is here for you to take advantage of to continue doing this. Um, I'm glad for you that you're able to do this. I would hate to I'd hate to hear another story of somebody not being browbeaten into something that somebody else thinks they should be. We're far enough now along in this world where people should be able to do what they want to be and present themselves how they want to be presented. Um, and I congratulate you for taking the bull by the horns and doing that. That's that's something to be commended for, and more to come. I'm sure, a lot more to come. I hope.
Plenty more. I've been a VTuber for 4 years now. I don't see myself stopping anytime soon, unless something terrible happens to like my vocal cords, which fingers crossed nothing does.
Don't speak it into existence.
I try not to, but I'm the kind of person that has to prepare for that potential possibility.
Just lots of icy slushies that works on your throat if that happens. Old radio trick. It'll buy you a couple of hours of pain-free talking if you do that sort of thing. I've used it many times back in the days when I didn't have any sick time at work. No,
that's a new one.
Yeah, show up and do your hour-long talk show. Okay, boss, I will. That's how it works back then. Thanks so much for coming on. Absolute pleasure talking with you and finding out about your story, your talents, your spite.
I have no other way to say it, but yes.
It's perfect, though. It's absolutely perfect. And I wish you the absolute best in the future. I hope we have you on soon. When you get one of those covers done, we always do a music special at the end of the year with my guests. So we're going to have to get that on for the music special. So hopefully we'll hear that from you soon. And we'll have those links in the description. Thank you so much for being on Digital-Bluez. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Eric, for allowing me to be here with you today. I was really touched to have been reached out all those weeks ago.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.